Low water levels around the lake are the result of the Chinese draining it to power hydroelectric turbines. The lake, though, has no natural source of water, and it is thought that it could be completely dry in a matter of years. Before setting off back into the mountains, we stopped off at a little town along the lakeside.
Well, here we are having lunch at a place called Nagatsi, I believe, and a little place off the trail. Food's not bad, but kind of meager surroundings. And we're getting ready to hit the road and head back up to the mountains to Gatsi and finally Shigatsi.
Back on the road, there was no mistaking where we were headed as the road swung west. As the road again began to climb, the landscape around us changed. The enormous mountains we had seen in the distance now surrounded us, and the snow which covered them gradually began to claim the road too. This is how high?
Highest one.
How high?
5,100.
It was in these mountains in 1904 that the British Colonel Younghusband and his troops fought their way through thousands of ill-prepared Tibetans, massacring hundreds on their march to Lhasa. The confrontation here at Kharo La remains the highest battle in British military history.
Flying in egg.
This is the Kharo La Glacier. We're at 5,100 meters above sea level. It's very cool.
Even perched up here in the mountain pass, there are small huddles of buildings, and the locals brave the hostile environment in the hope of selling oddities to passing travelers. Climate change is affecting Tibet more than anywhere else in the world, and the glacier, hanging precariously over our heads, is beginning to melt at an alarming rate. We followed the same road that Colonel Younghusband had taken to reach the Kharo La after British forces had stormed a well-protected Tibetan fortress in the town of Gyansi.
Just Tibet in every area can see one of the castles before. But during the Cultural Revolution, all of them destroyed.
Yeah.
Only left this one.
Really?
This one also, the inside is destroyed.
Just the outside?
Yeah, just to the outside case.
This campaign had lasted for as long as 2 months and resulted in the British using light artillery, which they had carried up onto the plateau to breach the walls of the fort. These days, the fort continues to dominate the town, although the Chinese have turned it into an anti-British museum, rewriting history at the same time.
Alright, well here we are at the Yatsi Monastery. It's nice. We can actually take pictures inside one right now. You can see the castle for the area right there, but it's been wiped out by the Cultural Revolution. Back over there is the library where they used to keep the scriptures. Unfortunately, during the Cultural Revolution, most of them were destroyed, so now it's being used as a dormitory. So luckily we've got lots of pictures for you of protector gods and that sort of thing. It's a great panorama view, and if your camera's good enough, you can even see the moon.
Of more significance to the Tibetans, however, is the magnificent 9-story stupa, the largest of its kind in Tibet. The artifacts inside managed to escape the destruction of the Cultural Revolution when the doors were covered in patriotic slogans and propaganda, deterring the Red Guards from destroying it. Throughout the many rooms, thousands of faces peer out from the gloom, reminding you that not all Buddhist deities are pleasant ones. The town has come to be known as the Hero Town amongst Tibetans, in honor of those who gave their lives attempting to defend it from the imperial might of the British. The Tibetans had died to defend the land and people of Tibet, but these days the Chinese teach that their sacrifice was out of love for the great Chinese motherland. Despite the best efforts of the Chinese, however, the Tibetans seem less concerned with the British invasion of over 100 years ago, and more concerned with the ongoing Chinese one.
Well, we've arrived at the lovely Shigatsu Shendong Hotel. Well, lovely based on the lobby anyway. So that was 9 hours in the car, and we finally made it alive and well, and we're really damn tired, and so we're gonna get some rest, and tomorrow we hit the road again for Rongpu and Mount Everest, so won't that be fun.
How you feeling?
Tired, but glad to be here.
Altitude's good?
Altitude's all right. Thank God we're at 4,000 meters, man. Jeez. Any higher and I might have it.
As we prepared to leave our hotel in Shigatse, we were again confronted by the sight of Chinese soldiers. This is a hotel?
Yeah.
What's that about?
Don't ask me. No idea.
Much as Lhasa is known as the home of the Dalai Lama, the glittering collection of buildings at Tashi Lumpur Monastery have traditionally been the seat of the second most important religious figure, the Panchen Lama. Tashi Lumpur was founded in 1447 and actually disbanded by the Chinese in 1960, but it is more recent events that have caused the most controversy here.
Hello.
In 1995, a 6-year-old boy, named as the reincarnation of the 10th Panchen Lama, was abducted by the Chinese government. The Chinese stated that they alone, a communist and atheist party, had the authority to choose the reincarnated Lama. To this day, the whereabouts of the real Panchen Lama remain a mystery, and he has come to be known as the world's youngest political prisoner. True to their word, the Chinese did select their own Panchen Lama, the son of 2 Communist Party members. Although the throne of the Panchen Lama here in Shigatse sits empty, traditions such as ringing a bell to alert the deities to your arrival are allowed to continue. After the Dalai Lama fled to India, many senior lamas from Tibet also left to help re-establish new monasteries in places such as India and Nepal. The 10th Panchen Lama, however, remained in Tibet, and it is because of this that Tashi Lumpur has very little presence amongst the monasteries in exile. In order to keep the monastery funded, the monks regularly hold a small market within the Kelsang temple. Clothes of the recently deceased are donated to the monastery, which are in turn sold to pay for basics such as food and water. While the monks are able to get by on very little, they are not the only ones who struggle for food. The entrance to the monastery is crowded with some of Tibet's poorest, hoping to catch the tourists that now make their way to Tashi Lumpur. The Chinese name for Tibet translates as Western Treasure House. The irony being that very little of the treasure actually makes it to the Tibetans.